Hey guys, welcome to Goku of Light One Piece chapter discussion. Pretty much this is going to be around the Nimbus, episode 8. I haven't done it in a while. I did about 7 episodes in the last 2 months, so I mean we missed a couple weeks here and there, but 7 out of like 10 weeks ain't bad, so it's all right. So essentially, the chapter wasn't the best ever, but it was a cool chapter. I enjoyed it. I didn't do a review for it yet. I'll probably do a review pretty soon, so I won't go too much into rating it and whatnot. But I'm really here more to just discuss it with Boris.
Hey, what's up, guys? Boris here. We talk about some One Piece. So, yeah, man. So, what do you think about the chapters? We can start with our thoughts.
Yeah, sure. Essentially, with the chapter, I thought that I was kind of expecting something a little bit different as far as Luffy was concerned. So that was really cool. But that was at the end of the chapter, so I'll say that in 1 second. But I thought with the Tonadas, or however you want to say their names, I don't know, the fucking little flying ones, the way that they sewed the ships together, I thought that was pretty awesome. Leo.
Yeah, Leo gets a lot of hate, man.
Yeah, he's the one of them that's kind of clutch, you know? He just randomly comes through with the clutch moves.
Yeah, he's actually put in a lot of work, man. He's been like way more useful than some of the other characters in the arc.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. This is pretty cool. Definitely cool. Oda still remembers about his ability. Still makes it relevant to the arc. Yeah, I like that little moment.
No, yeah, for sure. I essentially enjoyed I would say the pacing of it too. It wasn't really slow. Like we weren't stuck in one scene. We really jumped around the city a lot. We seen what happened to the Marines. They were collapsing. We've seen what happened to the ships. So it kind of like really made sense how like they were going to be able to escape in this scenario. It was looking pretty good, but then there's I always fuck up with his name. I think Fujitora. Fujitora, he pretty much that's right?
Yeah,
Fujitora. Yeah, he came through at the end. And I think the way that like Luffy challenged him, that was pretty dope to see that. Obviously there's the whole thing with Sengoku, but I think that was the biggest thing of the chapter. So I'm just gonna talk about that last. But everything that happened with like Luffy, the way he kind of stated that like he wasn't gonna run anymore. I thought that was pretty cool because it kind of stopped that whole like cliche-ness of him not being strong enough to fight these people. And like as long as he kept running, it made the story seem like it could go forever because it's like when would he finally be strong enough kind of thing. Because obviously, I mean, there would be a point when he could catch up to them, but I feel like the story's not meant to last like 10 years. You know what I mean? Like, even though if it lasts 10 years for us, within their universe, it's not going to last 10 more years. It's going to last a few more years. At least that's how I feel about it. And I think everything that we've seen with Sengoku was pretty cool because me personally, I know you had said that a few people were pretty much predicting that like Law was going to go talk to Sengoku. And, I can see how that makes sense. But I essentially was kind of hoping, I guess you could say more or less, and really speculating that he might just kind of go off and diverge and we wouldn't see him for a long time. I'm even still kind of hoping that after he finishes this conversation with Sengoku that, that he kind of just does his own thing. But, I mean, at the very last chapter, they were talking about that Law and Luffy were coming. But I only seen Luffy so I don't know if that meant that Law was like further behind him or if he was maybe in another panel that I didn't see. I don't know. But even then, even if he does get on the ship, I would just like to see a really like more darker side executed with Law. I feel like we have too many like heroes as is. Like I feel like with the Straw Hat Pirates, like while they're pretty cool and they're different, like the whole thing is supposed to be pirates. And one of the things I really enjoyed about shows like Naruto or a few other animes is like the way that like there isn't such a like bleak thing of good and bad, but that like everything is just kind of like a perspective, like which side of the line you stand on. And with One Piece, I don't always feel like that. I feel like you obviously know the world government is evil. Like if you don't consider the world government evil, it's like okay, like it's like they're fucking treating people like slaves. They've taken humanity to like a whole nother like level of plateau, like as far as thinking that they're above other people, creating these celestial dragons and nobility and all these other ranks and stuff like that. So I think it's safe to say that the world government is bad for humanity and they're bad people. And so with having such like I would say a clear white and black, I would like to see a few more gray characters that really just go back and forth as they please kind of thing. Like I feel like Mihawk's one of those characters. You know, he's kind of shown that he's kind of with the world government, but really doesn't necessarily care as much what they say. Like, he's one of the warlords that acts freely, but still acts within the system. Per se.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I
Um,
don't know. I mean, it seems like a lot of people are going to be getting on that ship. So, I wonder what's going to like. You got to think. Like, keep in mind, maybe once Law meets up with his crew, maybe then he'll like split off. But at the moment, Kaido is probably going to be looking for both of them. If they're separated, they'll be easier targets. So it's probably better for them to stay together at the moment, I think.
yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I can see. I don't know if we're going to see a lot of great characters from now on. I can't really think of anyone recently that we've met. Bartolomeo is kind of a great character. I mean, he's kind of like evil, but the reason
No,
he's
yeah.
being good is
He's more like
because
dictated as like an anti-hero kind of character.
yeah, I mean, technically, he looks like like some sort of monster that like is actually pretty strong. But because he's fans of Luffy, that's why he's being nice to everyone. So, we saw him like stab someone's tongue back in the Coliseum. So I mean, Bartolomeo is definitely ruthless, but I don't know. We'll have to
Oh, yeah.
see.
I mean, we seen him taking a piss. We seen like the way that he just kind of disregards everybody. Um,
Yeah,
so I mean, he's obviously on his own path, which is pretty cool. I mean, that's why he's kind of one of my more or less favorite characters out of the. You know, he's easily a top 10 character for me within the series. I wouldn't say he's like top 5, but he's top 10 for sure.
yeah.
Um,
I don't know. When it comes to Luffy hitting Fujitora, I thought it was pretty cool. I don't think anyone expected that. And I don't think Luffy is ready yet. I mean, I'm expecting to see a lot of like Luffy's like Yonko level post now or whatever, but or not Yonko, sorry, Admiral level post. But I don't think he's ready, man. I really don't.
so
But
yeah,
he
I feel
thinks
like
he's
that's probably
ready.
the best thing
So
about this. It creates that debate. You know what I mean? Of
yeah,
like,
because I don't think he's ready, but Luffy thinks he's ready. So I mean, I really don't know, man. I'm sort of excited to see what's going to happen. But I really don't think he's
so
Admiral level yet.
So let's say this: How would you feel like if he somehow wins or defeats him? Because like if he does, wouldn't that would be like really like conflicting with the fact that like Sabo couldn't beat him?
Well, Sabo wasn't aiming to beat the like that wasn't the point. Um, the point was just to prevent him from interfering with Luffy,
Yeah.
right? So I don't think Luffy or Fujitora were even close to going all out in their fight. I mean, we just saw what Fujitora can do in this chapter, right? It's something that like I didn't expect him to be able to do that. It's pretty crazy. But when it comes to Luffy, I don't think there's gonna be a fight here, but there's totally the possibility since we are close to chapter 800. So maybe Luffy taking out an admiral this early on would be like, something cool worthy of like the chapter 800 page. But I mean, I'm okay with him taking him out as long as it's done in obviously in some sort of logical way or something. Not even logical, but just some sort of explainable way. Yeah, Luffy's like not. Oda doesn't do that. Oda isn't just gonna let Luffy defeat Fujitora here, like just with like some random move. Like even with Dofi, he had to go through so many hoops to beat him, which is why I don't think he can beat Fujitora. But I don't know. What do you think is gonna happen, man? Do you think Fujitora's gonna
Um,
take the hit and just leave, or what?
well, the expression he made when he yelled out everything that he did about being Pirate King kind of made it look like he really didn't expect that either, and that he really didn't wasn't gonna expect him to have to fight Luffy. Um, so it really, especially going back to what he said to Akainu, like it looked like that he was just like kind of putting on the front of like wanting to catch Luffy. I think it's highly possible too, like the way that we've seen he kind of bowed his head to King Riku, that he's not the prideful character, that he's
Yeah,
more just about like
he
trying
might
to
just take the
achieve
hit
his
and
right.
run. Yeah,
He might just let Luffy, like he might just take the hit and let Luffy run, kind of thing. Like
yeah,
that might be the way one way we see this fight not happen, is he kind of just acts like it is, and then it kind of anything adds to like Luffy's legacy or his whole thing, because we already see Bartholomew and that other guy from the other country like freaking out about what he's doing.
yeah. I will say though, some of my favorite moments in One Piece are when like the Australians are just so overpowered, like Kuma first time, Kuma second time, Kizaru. moments like that where like you just know like there's no way these guys are defeating the other guy. So you wonder how they're gonna get it out of this situation, right? So I would like Fujitora to sort of like fight back a bit, and then you're sort of wondering, how are they gonna get out of it, right? Because I don't think, especially since it's only been a couple of days since the fight, they're probably really weak. If he still has like band-aids and stuff around him, so I don't know. I want to see what Fujitora can do, man. That's all I'm gonna say. And
No,
then I
yeah,
want to see how they get out of it.
yeah. I think that the thing too is like if he doesn't like really demonstrate what he can do, it kind of downplays the character because we just introduced him, and he's really came in, I think, like so strong as a character and into the story, and I
Yeah.
feel like he has the potential to really be a fan favorite if it keeps going that way. So to downplay him would be horrible, So it's like, I don't know. It's I think it's awesome that he did that because it really creates such a conflict opposed to like the obvious answer of him just like running away.
Yeah, it creates a conflict, and it's like it steps it up for the readers. Like, whoa, Luffy actually thinks he can take on an admiral now. He thought he could take on an admiral earlier, and it's been 2 years. How much has he improved? Has he improved to the point where he actually can take on an admiral? I don't know. Of course, I don't put Fujitora as strong as the other three original admirals because he was
We
drafted. But I don't know.
I feel like
It's cool. It's
battle,
interesting.
to me too, I feel like one thing too is like this battle possibly is along the lines of how like they have those whole things where they talk about like how warriors or certain people like fight each other to understand each other and stuff like that. I feel like they might be like that might kind of be what happens right here, almost like a sparring match because like the way like Luffy's like spouting about his dream and stuff like that, and then like
Yeah.
in the bottom corner it says like the resolutions in this grand battle, so it implies that like we're supposed to come to some multiple conclusions by the end of Luffy and him fighting. So it's not just really about them fighting. Like we're supposed to understand a lot more things just through the course of them fighting. At least that's kind
Yeah.
of how I take
Hopefully.
that.
We've already seen a lot of sparring happening in the arc. I hope
Yeah.
for that not to be the case. But yeah, I don't know. I just want to see how Luffy gets out of it because he just like he just. I guess this is maybe Fujitora will respect him for this. I don't know, but we'll just have to wait and see. So I'm trying to think of what else happened in the chapter we talked about.
Well, we have the whole Sengoku and Law conversation, which is pretty good.
I liked it. Yeah, I liked it. It made me respect Goku a lot more. I was sort of on the fence on whether he was like a good guy or a bad guy or like in between. I knew he was sort of a good guy, but now it makes me like really think of like it really makes me a Sengoku fan and think that he might actually be able to help out the Straw Hats at some point. Not directly, but maybe like he just helped out a lot, right? He just let him escape.
The part that I read at the end that was kind of crazy, where I didn't completely understand too, was like where he said he gave me life and heart. He's my benefactor. Like is that implying that he like traded hearts with him, or like what does that mean? Like
Maybe. I don't think so. I think it just means he gave up his life to to
just for
support to
him, like
help Law.
as far as like a sacrifice and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's the guy who gave Law everything he has at this point, right? Gave him his life. Like he gave him the fruits
and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I thought, but I thought that was kind of like weird the way he worded it. You know what I mean? Like he gave me a life and a heart.
So I don't know. Maybe he did give him the actual heart, but I don't think that would be possible. I don't think have we seen him?
If anything, I feel like that's more of a metaphor, probably for like he taught him to like not be such a cold person. Because the thing that I thought was pretty interesting too is like he said that when he seen Law, he seen him just as like his brother but a smaller version. So that kind of like implies that like Law is like the counterpart to Doflamingo. Like he's what Doflamingo in the other spectrum.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Law's cool. Just seeing that the resolution moment between Law and Sengoku is cool. Also, that gorilla next to Sengoku. I'm trying to think of what that could represent.
The what?
The gorilla right next to the Sengoku.
Oh yeah, it has to. It probably means something.
Because he's had the goat before. I'm trying to think if he's had any more animals with him before. So there's some sort of animal theme here going on. Oh, I don't want to just draw this for no reason.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm trying to think. Also, like I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see on that one, I guess.
I feel like if the implication of that is just that like we're getting a lot more into the whole animal thing and Zoan thing and Mink Men and all that. Because I think that, you know, a couple chapters ago when we seen when we were on that Kaido's Island and we see Sanji and all them, that we seen a Mink Man, that girl. So I kind of feel like that would be the indication of that. I don't know. I expect to just see a lot more animal-based themed things in general.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. Hopefully we will.
The thing that was interesting as far as that panel, though, is the gorilla was kind of sitting just like Sengoku. Like, they were sitting the exact same way.
Yeah. But yeah, it looks like I said, it looks like everyone's getting on the ship. Maybe so. At this point, I wonder what's going to happen. But I don't know. So yeah, I think we've pretty much covered everything from the chapter. This is a pretty simple chapter, except like the ending was like the big shocker in my opinion. Not as many things as I would wish would have happened. But again, I think he's just stalling for 780. So for 800.
I think, you know, honestly too, I think one of the things that was cool was kind of like when you get like the bird eye view of the destruction to really see like how like even though Doflamingo is like pretty much, you know, he's defeated in chains and all that other stuff, and the birdcage isn't up no more, we still see like all the lines carved through like the fucking terrain behind him and stuff like that. And then I think that as far as like some of the sad scenes that we've seen, one of the ones that I'm gonna be looking forward to, like in the anime that they show, is kind of like where they show Corazon's picture print out on the machine to show him the person that was killed from the crew, and he's kind of like crying there silently because he's like the only person that really knows about him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think that was kind of like the biggest like connection of the chapter, and that's why it's called Heart. And I think it's called Heart was because like even though like he's a pirate and you know he's a marine, they completely like share that moment together that like Corazon was a great person, and that you know they weren't really able to express that to anybody else because everybody else seen him as Doflamingo's brother. So I think that was kind of great. And then we get a little bit more hinting on the whole D thing. We get a little bit more of the D teaser right there. Sengoku's walking away. He was like, let me see. He was like, I don't know if this is the life of D that Corazon was talking about, but I'm just like Straw Hat. I have a hidden name as well. And he was like, you know something about the whole D thing, don't you? And he was like, who knows? He was like, I'm pretty sure you knew nothing about it. But then he was like, he's one too, huh? D's always the same line. But then it was like, then he didn't save you because of what you thought. So don't go writing it off as an act of love or something. So it's like it kind of implies that like he didn't do it because he loved Law, but because he was a D.
Yeah. No. Yeah, it's like he says that it wasn't due to that because he says Corazon didn't know much about the will of the D.
Yeah.
So Sengoku's like, okay, so not to be sure that it wasn't that he saved you because he really wanted to save you.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think this is interesting because they put the three panels together because you have the flashback of him saying like, "Hey Law, love you, man." So it's like he's trying to like you know break that like the ice heart of Law when he's a kid.
Yeah.
And then like Sengoku's kind of like what he's thinking in his head is conflicts from what he says because he's like, you know, he pretty much in his head is telling us that you know Rosinante didn't know that much about the D. He didn't really know nothing about it, just the stories that everybody else knows. And then he was like, so don't go off writing it off as an act of love or something. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of weird how he says that. Like, yeah. I feel like we're going to learn more about Rosinante just a little bit. Like, he might be a little bit more in-depth of a character.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Hopefully. I mean, I think he did actually know something about the will of the D, but I don't know if he didn't. I feel like he would have told Law if he did. So, yeah. I mean, I think that's pretty much it for the chapter. Again, pretty simple chapter. So, we just call it there, or what?
Hold on. So the one thing I think that I wanted to discuss was going into the future of everything with Rebecca and Kiros and all them. Like, how do you kind of see that laying out? Because like I don't really see that. I don't know. It just kind of seems like not like lame, but just kind of like for them just to be like staying on this like prairie or wherever they used to live and just kind of holding it down there. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like they have a bigger purpose in the story. And so like when King Riku actually does die, do you see Viola actually becoming the queen, or do you think that Rebecca goes back, or Kyros, or somebody else? Like, who do you think actually runs that empire?
I can definitely see King Riku asking Rebecca and Kyros to live in the palace. I can definitely see the other way around too, just Rebecca and Kyros living by themselves. Just having a normal life is probably what they need at this point. And just having, I'd be fine with Viola staying as queen. That would make, or not queen, I guess it would be princess, right? That way, I don't know. That way she doesn't have to go with Sanji. That would be a way for her not to have to go.
Okay, and then okay, let's speculate that real quick. How long do you think it is until we see Sanji, and like, what are you expecting to see like in the future of that arc? Like, do you think it's just going to keep being like really sporadic? Like, there's going to be like every time we see them, they're going to be in a different place, or like, how do you expect that kind of to go?
I think they're going to stay separated for a while. I think that's just how the nature of it, how it's going to be. I feel like they focus too much on on this Luffy crew. So I feel like he has to sort of focus on the other crew for a while, just to balance it out. For all those fans of Chopper, I mean, at the end of the day, Chopper sells a lot of merchandise. So I'll be surprised if like Shonen Jump or Shueisha, whoever is responsible, is not pressuring him to write draw Chopper. And same thing with like Anami and Sanji. There are a lot of Sanji fans in Japan, so same thing. So I do expect him to balance it out and give us like an arc or something with focusing on Sanji and their crew. But that one shouldn't be as focused as it was with Luffy. I will see Luffy for sure, but I think we'll definitely be seeing a lot of Sanji soon. I don't know.
Okay, so here's a question too, just to throw out there. So like, the whole thing with like the King of the Pirates is really like constantly made to really just be like more the most dominant person in the pirate era more than it is like the strongest. That's kind of like how I look at it more. Like the situation, like they just have like they have everybody on their side, or they have the situation like just luck is in their favor kind of thing, because like I never like when they explain like Whitebeard and Goldie Roger and a lot of the different characters, I didn't feel like Goldie Roger was just like this juggernaut of strength above like Whitebeard or anything like that. So that being said, like, do you feel like with Zoro and other people, do you feel like there's any potential for someone like Zoro to actually like become stronger than Luffy if he isn't already? Like, especially going into a place like Wano Kingdom where he's going to be perfecting like his swordsmanship, and his whole thing is to be the strongest swordsman. Like his title in itself is about strength, while Luffy's pursuit is more about his dream. So do you think it's fair to assume that it's possible for someone like Zoro to become stronger?
I don't think so. Luffy has to be stronger. I mean, to be king of the pirates, he has to be the strongest pirate. He has to be the one capable of taking down everyone, including the emperors and the admirals and everyone. So he has to be stronger than Zoro. I mean, he just has to. I mean, Zoro's a pirate, right? How can the king of the pirates not be the strongest pirate? So.
That being said, do you think that like if we were to see a fight between Goldie Roger and Whitebeard, like Goldie Roger could actually beat Whitebeard in a one-on-one fight?
Yeah, I believe so. And I'm not saying Zoro's weak. Like, I think Zoro's like pretty much right at Luffy's level right now. But I don't think he'll ever surpass Luffy. I mean, like Zoro said, if he surpasses him, like he's not going to be considering Luffy worthy of being his captain anymore. And so
do you think, like in a big picture of realisticness, that like Goldie Roger has to have some type of devil fruit, or do you think he really was just stronger with hockey alone?
I think get a devil fruit, but again, nothing's certain. We don't know. It's too much, like speculating now at this moment would be too early.
Mm-hmm.
So probably, I'd say he would, but again, I'm a big fan of him having Luffy's fruit. People know that already. I'm a big fan of that theory. But I could definitely see him not having a fruit either, just having really good hockey. So, yeah, any one of those would be good.
And with the straw hat thing, like there's been pictures where they show like the people wearing straw hats previously, like the whole thing with like Noel the Liar and people like that, like those like different images that they show. Like what do you think about the straw hat like being around for so long? Like it seems like it outdates Goldie Roger and other people.
I mean, a straw hat's just a normal piece of clothing. I totally expect people to have worn that for a long time. The straw hat belongs to Goldie Roger, though. I don't know. I just think that's just his. He's passed it down to Luffy. You know. I don't
So
think
you,
there's anything to do with anything in the past
so you
like
don't
that.
think there's a connection between the other people wearing straw hats and stuff like that? You think
I
he
mean,
just
there
does that for
could
symbolism?
Joy Boy could have worn a straw hat and stuff, but I don't think the one we saw in the flashback is any indication that it was there. You know.
Okay. All right. Well, for sure. Well, I thank you, Boris, for coming. Doing a live stream with me. Obviously, it's great. It was just a quick chapter, so there wasn't too much to talk about.
Yeah. Hopefully, chapter 800, man. That's what I'm waiting for.
No, yeah,
So
for sure. And I'm gonna try to do these more frequently and try to, like anybody that's watching this, like try to keep them around 30 minutes now, so they're not like an hour, 2 hours, so you don't have to commit to like a fucking session to watch a video. So let me know if you enjoy this. Let me know if you enjoy them being shorter, if you'd like me to keep them long because you want to like actually sit down and invest your time. So let me know. This has been Goku of a Light, chapter 798 of One Piece Heart with Boris Anime. I'll be sure to put his channel in the description if you don't obviously know who he is already. And yeah, it's been a great one. You guys have a great day.
yeah, see you guys.